Atatiana Jefferson's family asked that her funeral be private, not recorded, not broadcast on TV. But before the service began, with an open casket allowed us and the world to see her, to tell her story one more time. It's been nearly 2 weeks since her death. A neighbor called police because the doors of her house were open at 2 in the morning. Fort Worth officers did not announce themselves, and an officer in Atatiana's backyard with a flashlight in hand saw her through a bedroom window and fired a single shot into the house. Her family says she was just looking through the window to see who might be in her backyard. The officer was fired from the force and arrested on a charge of...
She was just a normal human being. Somebody who should still be here with us today. And now she's added to the countless number of hashtags. And we will continue to grow countless numbers of hashtags until this community, until the people standing in front of me now, the people standing who committed to this family for change, until we do something about it.
Merrit also says he will demand justice for Jefferson from the Fort Worth Police Department, and he won't stop until he gets it. Fox 4's Allison Harris was at the vigil and is live now with the details. Allison.
Whenever the police comes out, the first option is to use their weapon in a deadly manner.
Very quickly.
Against unarmed citizens. It's ridiculous.
And then we need the Department of Justice, not the Texas Ranger.
Have anybody heard of a white guy getting shot lately by the cops?
Nope.
Have anybody heard that?
Nope.
What's wrong? They not shoutable?
So I stand here for Miss Jefferson.
The gathering Sunday night was called a vigil. There were candles, but there were more protests than prayers. People held signs saying, "Enough is enough." One man said, "This is not a kumbaya moment."
Amen.
This is the time when we say enough.
Policing should be about defusing situations if you can. It's the same thing. Shoot first, ask questions later. That seems to always be the case.
I'm 26 years old. She was 28. I went to college. She went to college. No matter how much education you have, no matter where you live, no matter where you work, we're our skin color first.
Protesters say this shooting and killing is a tragedy, but it's also an issue of police training and systemic racism. The president of the NAACP in Fort Worth says she will help make sure this is investigated fairly.
We want persons who we can feel comfortable with, who will address the issues and the concerns and the questions that we see needs to be addressed.
The reality is I've had the unfortunate responsibility of sitting in front of these cameras and sitting next to families that have lost loved ones by the hands of police officers all too often. As a member of the community of Fort Worth, as someone that has taken the responsibility to be a voice for my community, I want to set the record straight that we're not looking for a 30-day suspension. We're not looking for a slap on the wrist. We're not looking for what seems to be status quo. Is that the people that we hire to serve and protect us, when one of their own violates the community, it seems like they do more of trying to serve and protect their own. So what we're looking for is for this officer not only to be fired, but we're demanding that this officer be charged as well, like the criminal that he is.
Integrity. She was loved. She loved her family so much that at the age of 28, she decided to move into our mother's home to help her as her health was declining. Honor, integrity, commitment, and service. These are the attributes of Atatiana Jefferson. Any parents would be proud to call her a daughter. Any sibling would be proud to call her a sister. Any employer would be proud to call her an employee. Any neighborhood would be proud to have her as a neighbor.
The kind of transparency that we need to get to the bottom of these cases. However, they threw in an unrelated
according to their statement, the photograph of a firearm. And in order to, I guess, impute some bad act or blame on the victim itself, that was not necessarily circulate. And that's more like the Fort Worth that we know. When we look at the video and we see it was several officers prowling around the property, literally crawling, whispering, as if they were conducting some sort of clandestine abstraction. It's absurd when you know what the call is. They finally released the emergency call yesterday, the non-emergency call yesterday, which was a neighbor who was concerned about an ailing woman across the street. He gave no indication that he believed that a crime was taking place, that he was in fear for his life or the safety of the members in that home or the community. He said he saw some doors open. And so to see them, again, pass those open doors without announcing themselves, to park around the corner so that no one, if they happened to be near the home, could know who they were. And then to escalate the situation as they entered the property, it's just unacceptable. Yes.
How is he doing? I know he's it's been a bit of a process, but the family's been able, he was there. That's something that sounds horrific.
Zion surprises me with how much he recalls. Zion is going to start counseling this week because we don't know the emotional trauma, the psychological trauma that seeing something like this can have on an 8-year-old. He was present the entire time. He never left the room. He saw, he and his Auntie Tay experienced the fear of someone prowling in the backyard. His Auntie Tay did not allow him to check the window. She checked herself. I asked myself, what would have happened if that little boy went to the window instead of his auntie? I'm sorry.
Jefferson's family members were attending a vigil for her tonight at the Potter's house. Her father, Marquise Jefferson, was holding a press conference of his own at a separate church. He claims certain relatives were deliberately leaving him out of his daughter's funeral planning and attacking him publicly. That's why he says he wants the courts to step in. As the community prepares to honor the life of Atatiana Jefferson,
there was love. And that smile, Lord have mercy, can brighten up any room.
Her wake and funeral services seem to be getting upstaged by some friction among her surviving family members.
It's been very tough, but Tay wanted me to be strong. I have to be strong. My mission is not over.
Marquise Jefferson is Atatiana's father, and he claims ever since the 28-year-old was shot and killed inside her home by now former Fort Worth police officer Aaron Dean 1 week ago, some other family members and their legal representatives have left him out of the planning. He says red flags also went up when he discovered a GoFundMe account in his daughter's name.
That GoFundMe went from $10,000 to $50,000 to $75,000.
Bruce Carter is a spokesman for Mr. Jefferson. He says the grieving father went to the courts on Friday asking for a temporary restraining order, giving him control of his daughter's remains, her funeral, and burial. A Dallas County judge signed that order late Friday afternoon. Jefferson held a press conference announcing he's not authorizing the funeral other family members planned Saturday at the Potter's House, Dallas. He's holding his own service next week.
When you raise money for a specific purpose, and that money is not needed, I believe that you're defrauding the people who are weakened at heart that wants to do something.
Jefferson claims he told Atatiana's relatives money wasn't needed for the funeral because he had an insurance policy to cover that.
Awkward occurrence, awkward entertainment. Okay, one more thing about this Atatiana Jefferson case. Now, whatever happened to the money in the GoFundMe, her and the mom and the sisters were all fighting over that the dad said they didn't need it. I guess he didn't want them to have it, whatever the drama was with that. But, I'm reading that the mother of Atatiana Jefferson, the one who just passed, asked for a neutral third party to handle daughter's estate. Now, this just talks about the money raised by the GoFundMe Merrit set up. That was $250,000. and wanted a neutral party to control her estate outside her father. And let's go through the video right quick, because I'm not going to read too much of this.
24 hours after Atatiana Jefferson's funeral, her family is still fighting it out in court. Earlier this month, a Fort Worth police officer responded to an open door call and shot and killed Jefferson in her home. Atatiana's mother and sister filed a temporary restraining order against her father, asking there be no mention of the foundation he created in her name. They're also asking a neutral third party take control of her estate.
So they want a neutral third party. I guess that's already happened. But why did all that drama come out about this? Like, I'm surprised it was in the limelight. They put them in the limelight like they did, like they are. I'm not so surprised, but I'm surprised. But let me skim through this right quick, see if I want to add anything to it. But the reason I bring up the GoFundMe, it's just funny how that story came about, because she got shot by the police. Now, out of the blue, you got the dad fighting the mom and the sister and the aunt. He said he had enough money to cover it, and he think they're trying to get over on the system, that they're going to take the donation money and use it for whatever they want and not towards Tatiana. So this is them. They don't want the dead involved with the 250 grand. Of course, some go to Lee Merrit. But it's just crazy how this whole thing turned into a soap opera. I mean, and crazy how people think she or her mom and her dad died back to back like that because they were so sad. And just the race element in it, it just seems so old and so programmed. It is so old. It's old programming this case is. Like, we are way past, well, some of us are way past black and white. Like, you know, when we say black and white, we don't see color. Well, we don't see color. We understand there's black and white there, but we don't see color. We don't see race. We don't care for racism. Even though we see it's there, we just don't care for it. Okay, well.
Don't miss the celebration.
Her mother passed, rest in peace, Yolanda Jefferson, rest in peace, Marquise Jefferson, and of course, Tatiana. And Aaron Dean, we don't know when that trial gonna start, probably later this year. So it's Amber Geiger 2.0. Remember Geiger with the bottom jeans? She said this was her apartment, but it wasn't her apartment. So she got 10 years. Don't know how the appeal process going. She appealed the case. That's still going. But 10 years, and he might get probably 10 years. Then we're going to see a lot of protests. And we're going to see a lot of racial programming. Anybody watch Queen and Slim, that movie? The black guy who shot the cop because the cop was really a cricket cop, really a bad cop, tried to harm them. So Queen and Slim, the boy and girl going to run from the police, but they eventually get caught in the end. You'll see it. You'll see it in the movies. You'll see it. Not in the movies. You'll see it when this case get going. They're going to bring up Botham Jean, Amber Geiger, plus her appeal. Now, if Amber Geiger appeal comes up and they give it to her, then we got the Amber Geiger appeal. Then we got this case with Atatiana Jefferson going at the same time. Like, Aaron Dean's in court the same week Amber Geiger's in court. It's going to be some drama. You're going to have Black Lives Matter protesting. You're going to have whoever protesting. There's going to be some drama. There's going to be some headlines, though. All right, let me get out of here. This has been Awkward Occurrence, Awkward Entertainment, and I'll see you in the next video.
There's a call for a criminal investigation tonight into the death of Marquise Jefferson. He was the father of Atatiana Jefferson, the woman who was killed by a Fort Worth police officer just last month. Jason Allen live in Dallas this evening with developments in this matter today. Jason? Yeah, Marquise Jefferson was buried here today right next to his daughter. He died earlier this month from a heart attack, but his family is going as far tonight as to call that death a murder. Jefferson's funeral today was in the same church where he held press conferences last month as he fought to have a say in his daughter's funeral. He'd become concerned as well that attorneys were trying to profit off of that shooting death. He did not end up speaking at his daughter's funeral last month, and we were told that was at least in part due to a restraining order that limited what he could say at that service. His family now wants an investigation into the actions of attorneys and even the probate judge who made some of the orders in that case, and they believe that those actions were in fact criminal.
It saddened me to see him deteriorate so fast with a broken heart. I never seen nothing like it in my life, and I made it my goal and my destiny to carry on his legacy and his last words, to carry on his daughter's name and his name.
The mother of Atatiana Jefferson died today in the same Fort Worth home where her daughter was shot and killed by police last year. Paramedics were called to the family home in the Hillside neighborhood earlier this morning. That's where Jason Allen is live for us this afternoon with the details of this story. Jason?
Ken, an attorney who has been working with the family as well as a pastor, both confirmed it was Yolanda who died in this home today. She had been battling health issues for some time. In fact, that's one of the reasons Atatiana Jefferson was here at this home when she was shot in October. In the 3 months since Atatiana Jefferson was shot and killed by police in Fort Worth, her father and now her mother have also died. Fire, police, and paramedics were all outside the family home Thursday morning after a call for an unconscious person. Yolanda had been in the hospital as recently as the week before Christmas, where she spoke about the officer charged with killing her daughter.
He murdered my baby in my home. She wasn't doing anything, and she didn't do anything wrong. She didn't do anything wrong.
Carr's death follows the passing of Marquise Jefferson in November. Atatiana's father had been healthy up to that point, his family said at the time, and they pointed to the crime in trying to explain his sudden death.
I never seen anybody deteriorate so fast. You know, his heart just was broken.
Good occurrence for Arca Entertainment. Now, I thought I'd take a look at the Atatiana Jefferson case. That is who was shot by Aaron Dean in Texas. He was doing a welfare call and shot her through her window. But later on, so we're later in this case. This was months ago, so we're later in this case. The mom has died, Yolanda Jefferson. She has died. That's the Tatiana mom. Beforehand, the dead Marquise Jefferson died. Now, all the deaths have happened between 2 to 3 months since the event of their daughter dying from being shot by the police. But we're here at Willie D page. The title of his video is "A Texas Cop Killed Atatiana Jefferson. Now her mom and dad who was fighting for justice is dead. SMDH." I just want to go to the comments, and I just want to add this as part of the video to read through the comments and see how people thinking, and does it make sense what they think? Because are they insinuating the police has something to do with the deaths of her mom and dad? Well, of course not. Well, they may say, well, they were so heartbroken that both of them died a few months apart from their daughter. Maybe not, because that's rare to happen. It's not rare for a wife and a husband to die a few months apart in their old age. Like if the wife is in their 70s, the husband in their 70s, so it's not rare for the wife to die at 73, then the husband die a year later at 74, something like that. Let's talk with Willie D comment. I don't believe the deaths of Atatiana parents are no more of a coincidence than the deaths of the witnesses in the Botham Jean case. But maybe I'm reaching. Honey, don't think so. So that doesn't leave you too much to speculate. Like, it leaves you to speculate. Is he saying they have something to do with it? The police? But no, you just saying heartbreak. The mom there was so heartbroken that they got real sick and passed away. That's very common. Okay, it's not open season. The police didn't kill the mom and dad, but we can read the comment from on Taurus Hamilton. Willie D. Live agreed. She's agreeing to Willie D. Unfortunately, it's open season on us. On us, she mean black folks. We need to act accordingly. They both had heart attacks and they're both very sick. That's how the story goes. This is like killing 3 with 1 bullet. Not really. It's one specific comment I want to get to. I'm in this video. This is the one by the Feedback magazine. That cop basically murdered 3 people. He should be charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. And white people wonder why we don't trust the police and criticize them. I don't trust any cops. Of course, I got a love from Willie D. People say, agree, facts. There's no such thing as a good cop until they turn into bad ones. That's 100. 100 in the black power hand. If you and your boy is trying to rob me and I pop you, your boy catch that split. But you better get what I'm saying. I'm not going to read through all of these. That's just the main one I like right there.